West-Flemish. Then you have around the places of Kortrijk, which is where I'm from. Not particularly like, I mean, I was born in Kortrijk, but around that region basically is where I'm from, which is usually like the more like where all the plains are and the farmlands and stuff like that. That's where I'm from. So I will show you exactly then. And some people have seen this video before, but this is exactly like the particular West-Flemish that I would be speaking. That is my native tongue, basically. So yeah, I'm just gonna play this a little bit right here. But again, some people may have seen it already or heard it already. But this is it.
Dag. Ik ben Gerrit Kallewoord uit Bovenkoven, deelgemeente van Orelbeek in West-Vlamingen. En ik zou vrij eigenlijk het volgende willen zeggen. Dat dankt me dus echt mijn keel uit dat alle minuten tot er dan in West-Vlamingen die in televisie komt, dat ze daar direct titels moeten onderzetten. Ik vind dat net een schande dat er zoveel of de West-Vlamingen weer aan terugsteken. Maar zijn we er vrij goed te verstaan. Dat akkoord dat we wel er al een keer een woordje anders placeren of een draai geven aan bepaalde klanken. Maar als je nu een beetje meer voor, dus is dat we wel er moeten doen om naar een Antwerpenaar of naar een Limburger luisteren, dan zijn we wel er vrij goed te verstaan. Dus ik zou een oproep willen doen aan al de makers van televisie. Doe gewoon, neem je er net voor en zet er geen titels meer onder. Voilà. Dat is dat moest zeggen. Merci. Dag, ik ben Gerrit Kallewoord, West-Vlamingen, Bovenkoven, deelgemeente van Orelbeek. Dat is hier mijn echt antwoorden. Ik heb verleden week een oproep gedaan aan de makers van televisie dat ze er moeten mee stoppen voor de West-Vlamingen te ondertitelen. Ik zei, kon ik kijken naar mijn cassette dat ik doorheen gezonden heb. Hij was ziek, de lelijk hoor. Hij zei heel een boel ondertiteld, terwijl dat ik dus tot te zeggen dat ze het juist niet moeten doen. Hij zei me nog kunnen belachelijk gemaakt. Terwijl dat onbemoot, nee. En Bovenkoven, Orelbeek, het eigenlijk en omstreken zijn dat vrees kunnen was wat ik daar gezegd had. En dat dat vrij goed te verstaan was. Dus ik zou willen zeggen, in mijn rechten op antwoorden, doe gewoon, neem je er net voor en houd ons allemaal goed verstaan. En we een beetje meer voor.
Yeah, that's basically the West-Flemish that you guys will be learning from me. But yeah, it was like Sheer, for example, like Sheer from a different, like I think he's from Limburg as far as I remember, like which is like towards the east, closer to the German border. But yeah, it is a yeah. You probably understood like some bits here and there. But yeah, that it is a huge difference though in language and how we speak and the speed and tempo, the rhythm. It's a lot different. But let me show you then, like first off, like the map, for example. And, you know, just explain little things here and there. All right, there we go. So this little thing here is Belgium. Of course, on a map, it looks even tinier. So if you have to split everything into provinces, again, it's a very, you know, it's even smaller. But where I'm from West-Vlaanderen. So completely on the left side of Belgium, towards the coastline of Belgium. And then also we're very close to the neighboring border of France, basically, right? So that's basically where I live. Like to put like a little perspective of where in particular I would be from is like in a region around here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Like the chat is maybe a little bit in front of it, but it's doable. You can see it. Like I would be like somewhere around here, basically. This is where I live. Like around this region right here. This is about where I live. Like if we can like cut this part out and then like this whole thing, like something like this, basically. Like this little triangle, I guess that I'm making here. Like this is like kind of the region where I'm from, right? And these are usually like where the farmlands are and the plains and the things and whatever. Whereas as I said before, like with Bruges, which is our capital. Which is right here as well, like up here you can, well, you can see it for yourself. But it's a very historical place as well, very medieval-like. Most of our capital cities have like medieval architecture to it. But Bruges is a lot with, you know, like architectural things in terms of medieval architecture, but also water is kind of like a little bit of a like smaller Venice, basically. So there's like a lot of water and bridges and stuff like that. Like Bruges, very... it's very nice though. It's very chilled. But there's also a lot of construction works over there too. Like sometimes it's a little bit of a hellhole to get there. But once you're there, it's actually quite chill. But then like what I also said before about Ypres, for example, which is another setting. You don't really see it here, but I'll try to, like, you can kind of see my mouse a little bit here. Like Ypres is around this side. And here, around here is where Ypres is, and that's where like the huge battle in World War I was fought basically. And they have also like a very different accent. So these would be like the three accents. Actually, there's maybe a fourth one too, which would be specific to the coastline, because they also have like very different, like it's not very different. It's more like a very unique way that they say things. But yeah, the coastline also has like their own kind of like thing going on. But especially like Bruges and then Ypres, and then of course where I'm from, and then a coastline. Those would be like the four kinds of West-Vlaanders that you would have. But in particular, we're going to be teaching where I'm from, which is right here, to let you guys kind of know like, okay, what does Tabi sound like when she speaks? Or even though you can look it up, I already spoke West-Flemish in a video in particular. But that's basically where I'm from. And that is, if you're right here, you'll be able to speak just as fluently as I would, whatever, I teach you some things here and there. But they will also really appreciate it. Like we Flemish people are very hospitable. We like to welcome people. You're very welcoming, sometimes a little bit too welcoming, to the point that we kind of like allow bullshit to happen, and therefore, yeah, you know. But not so much here where I'm from, right? We are very honest people. Like the people over here, like where we are from, right here, we are very, you know, we are very kind, we're very hospitable, but we are not exactly the too tolerant of or too tolerant towards bullshit, basically. So that's again maybe the thing that you also notice within me, because that's basically everyone here where I'm from. So but yeah, as you can see here, with everything else, you have the other provinces: East Flanders, Antwerp, Limburg, which is where Shira is from. And as you can see, it's on a complete different side, complete opposite side. And then you have Liège as well. So let's say Limburg and Liège. They basically neighbor, like Limburg would be neighboring part of the Netherlands as well. And then connected with Liège is basically where the German border is, right? This is where the German border is. Because it connects here. And then like this is exactly where like the German speaking people would be in Belgium. So I don't know why people keep calling me. Wait, you are from Bruges? I thought you were from Limburg. What the fuck? I thought you were from Limburg. Because I remember Didn't we like in VR chat like talk with Robert, and you said you were from Limburg as well or something like that? Fuck. Yeah, right here, German speaking part again to the east, and again I don't know why people keep calling me why they keep calling me German, or like look Tabi's German. See, I knew that Tabi was German. So you know, I'm from the complete different side. Way off your mark right there. But then, yeah, indeed, Luxembourg is indeed a province. We also have the country of Luxembourg, which originally was a part of Belgium, and then they separated for whatever reason. I don't really know the historics of that. But indeed, we also have our own province, Luxembourg, and then we also have the country of Luxembourg. But here's more like French kind of things as well, like especially everything down here. Like if you would split this thing in north and south, basically from the middle here in Belgium, like the northern part would be the Flemish part, and then the southern part would be the French-speaking part. In Brussels, we have everything, basically, and that's a little bit of a problem. But yeah, we have Hainaut, Namur, Liège, and then Luxembourg is what they would say in French. And then indeed, yeah, this is our French-speaking folk. But yeah, in particular, here, West-Flemish, right here is where Tabi is, somewhere along those lines, right here, where the West-Flemish farmers are basically, and very traditional people, and we are very strict to our traditions and cultures, that we would like to keep that way, and that's why you probably noticed that within me as well. Okay, that's a little bit about West-Flemish shenanigans. Yeah, time to teach you some West-Flemish, in particular where I'm from. But then again, do note that even if you would use this in particular, you would also be able to use it almost everywhere in the Flemish-speaking part. So not only in West Flanders, but also in East, also Limburg. Although maybe Limburg, it depends which words. But yeah, definitely West Flanders, East Flanders, Antwerp. But yeah, primarily West Flanders or West-Flemish in particular. So let's get started. I will do like a very basic thing though. And also, yeah, I know I have my stream open. Just so I can see if things are working fine. It's the infinite loop of stream. But let's see here. There we go. I had to go like grab a little chalkboard thing to make, things a little bit like, class is back in session. But yeah, we'll start with like a very basic thing, right? Something very basic. For example, we can say like hello, but that's like a little bit too basic, right? That's a little bit too basic, right? So let's see. Like usually when we say hello, we just say hello or hey, stuff like that. Basically shit that you use everywhere in Western society. So that is like literally no difference here. So that's why I feel like we don't need to go over that part. You can just say, hey or stuff like that. So, no need to do any of that. But usually what happens whenever we meet people, we always, or 9 out of 10 times, we would say or ask, like, how are you? That is something that I will teach you. Goedendag. We have very specific things, like in a video bit that I showed you where the dude, like with the West-Vlaanderen was saying, accent dag. But that is very specific West-Flemish for the region that we are from. And not everyone else would yeah, see, like, for example, what Shira is saying, like, again, that's like a little bit of a difference in like Bruges, like kind of things where he says, "Wat is met jou?" Which basically like, what's up with you? Like literally translated. But with us, like how we say it is, we would say, how are you? And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you right now. So how are you? We would say, and let's see if I can see it in the chat as well. We would say, like that. This is basically what we would say. West. So that's how we say things, like West. West. So basically, if we would like meet up with people, we would like hey, basically like hey, West. Basically like that. That's how we would say it, which means like, how are you? How are things? Right. Another way that we could say it, which is deriving from French, which also would start with like a or like hello, but mostly like a anyway. Basically like the same thing like we would say in French. For example, ça va. Basically, that's derived from French from comment ça va, which means like how are you doing? Same thing here. Like again, with West-Flemish, like I said, it's a lot more French involved. That's why I made that tweet as well. That considering that we are very close to the French neighbor, there's some French stuff in our West-Flemish in particular. And for example, yeah, see, like Metroid got the point. So, but these are like the two most primary things that we would say, like a West or a ça va. That's basically how we would say things, or how we would say like, hey, how are you? How are things? Stuff like that, right? If you guys have any questions like concerning this, let me know. But that's basically how you would say it. You've been infested with French a little bit. Not saba, it's ça va, it's with the V, like where I don't know where you get the B from, but it's with a V, Can you put translation on them? Well, it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna how can I do this? Where is my thing? These are the same things. So these two things basically mean the same thing, like West or ça va. You can use both of these things, also like in everywhere else in Belgium that isn't French speaking. Maybe the bottom part, ça va, you could use that too. But both of these things mean, how are you? That's basically how it means, or what it means. And to respond with that, we, like for example, to the first part where we would say like, if someone says to you, hey, West, you can respond with goed, which basically means good, like goed. Ça va, in the bottom part, when someone says, hey, ça va, you can reply with ça va. That's basically what you can reply. If someone replies that to you, like, hey, ça va, you can just say back, ça va. and to reply them back to you. Because let me explain like a little different situation here. So imagine, that's exactly what I was going to get to, Shiro, because we also retort that question back instantly, basically, right? So with this language in particular, for example, in a situation where I would be going to someone, to Shiro, let's say like I'm talking to Shiro and I say to Shiro like, who asks? Then Shiro would say, who is Mayo? Which is what the MJ is like abbreviated from. Which basically says like, hey, how are you? I'm doing all right. How about you? That's basically it. But then in West-Flemish, that would be, hey, West, hoe goed, am you? Of amadi. Basically is how you would say it. So I will type that out now as a response here. To like the better part, ça va, you can just reply with ça va, basically, right? But then for the US part, you can just say, like, this is like what the word actually is, but we say differently. Yeah, we fuck vowels, yeah, indeed. But we say it differently. But this is basically the word, which we would say like in a very proper Flemish, that would be hoots. But in West-Flemish, we say hoots, like with a soft H, basically. It kind of sounds like this. It kind of sounds like this, like with an H, like hoots, or like, you know, in English, that would be kind of like this, hoots. Don't like abbreviate the abbreviate. Don't extend the hoots. You know, like an owl, right? So it's like a shorter, like it's the same sound, but keep it short, right? Hoots, like that. So west hoots, and then the next part would be amadu. So how I would type this in West-Flemish, or let's do the proper spelling first. Like the first part where I say, here, right? The first part where I say like amadu is basically, that's basically the proper Flemish thing, basically. Like when someone says, hey, West, goed, amadu, is basically, how you would respond with, I'm doing all right. How about you? Right? And then how we would say it in West-Flemish is like the second part, amadu, is like very quickly, basically. And it's not like with a hard T, basically, as you see in the first part with it, you know, the anmatsu, basically, like in this part, the first part right here. But we say it quickly, amadu. But what Shiro is saying, that's why like the Bruges part has a little bit of a difference, which would say like amayo, which is like different, right? With us, we just say this basically, you know, like just saying like amadu. But yeah, to paint a scenario again is west hoots amadu. That's basically it. That's like the interaction part of how are you doing? I'm doing all right. How about you? You know, that is basically the thing. I'm not going to go into too much, you know, like many different parts. I will do these in sections, by the way, every stream. So that one, we have enough content too. But two, that it isn't getting too confusing, right? But again, like just to paint this scenario again, you could say like, hey, West, hoots, amadu. And then you can reply to that with hoots. You know, basically just hoots, which is reply with good as well. Just, you know, just will go the same way as you would say here with the hoot part, or in this case in West-Flemish, hoots, right? So hey, West, hoots, amadu, hoede. You know, basically, that's basically it. Does this explain a little bit of the West-Flemish? If there are any questions, let me know, or if you guys would like to practice with me, we could try that. But these are day-to-day verbiage, basically. Yeah, that's what I would like to teach. Because again, I'm not gonna go into like super details with like how things are, like very specific scenarios or stuff like that. But primarily just like the very basic things, like if you would go to Belgium, or in this case, like mostly the Flemish part, that if you would use this, 9 or 10 times people will understand you. So, I mean, eggs. Why do you need eggs? Is it on Mahu? Yeah, Mahu. Like for people who see Shiro typing that word that goes like Muggengeheuen, usually in proper Flemish that would be Muggengeheuen, but in West-Flemish we say Mahu. Right? It sounds like I'm just not saying anything, that I'm having a stroke or something like that, but like the hard letters, not something you probably also noticed with the thing that I explained, especially with the good part, with like hoots, you know, is that we don't really have any hard vowels basically, or vowels at all basically. So basically, like we say, like in in proper Flemish, that would be Muggengeheuen, or in this case, in West Flemish, that would be Mahu. Like there are no G's basically. G's don't exist basically. Maybe that would be a very good thing to know. G's in West Flemish don't exist. So that's why we have like these, you know, these things right here. So yeah, a stroke for sure. Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's basically it. So again, to repeat what we learned here today for this session is, hey, West, ça va? You know, things that you can use either West or ça va, or in a questioning tone, like ça va? You know, like that. So you can say as, hey, ça va? Then you can reply with either ça va, or in this case, goed, or in West Flemish that would be goed, amadu, ahoede. Basically what I'm adding here, like the a and the e at the end is just like, I'm doing all right. And then the e at the end is basically like what Canadians do, you know, like with the a stuff. It's just like a little thing that we add. I don't know. You know, it's just a little thing, but you don't have to, but you can. You don't have to add that. You can just reply with goed, ça va. You know, you can just do that. There's not a part as well. There's not a very specific West Flemish thing that you can use to our region, but I'm not exactly going to teach you that because, I don't know. In case you guys would like to know, then I could, because it's basically one word. It's one word that you can have different meanings depending on how you say it. Like, it depends on the tone that you say it. It could be maybe a little interesting part, just a little like fun little thing that I can throw in there for shits and giggles, basically, like a little bonus. Okay, so thing is, this in particular is it's like from a show that we have in Belgium, and it's someone that has migrated from like some French African like French speaking African country. So that's why there's like French being spoken here, but also West Flemish that basically teaches you the exact same thing, like you see on the board right now, but very specific to the region where I'm from.
Soit. Le ABN, c'est le dialecte des présentateurs du journal. Hein? Eux, ils disent « Hoe gaat het met jou ?» Mais nous, on dit « Où est-ce ?»
Remember when I taught you that like a few minutes ago? See?
Hein? Eux, ils disent « Hoe gaat het met jou ?» Mais nous, on dit « Où est-ce ?»
Ouest.
Oui, c'est simple. Hein? Et puis tu réponds
Goed.
ja, goed of stief goed. Mais mieux, c'est d'utiliser habaya.
Ah bah ja.
C'est un mot, tu peux l'utiliser dans chaque situation. Quand tu te sens bien, tu dis habaya. Quand tu te sens mauvais, tu dis habaya. Et quand tu te sens triste, tu dis habaya. Innocent. West.
Ah bah ja.
Ja, stief goed. Moi, je pourrais être ton professeur.
See, in this case, where he uses the word aboya, like it really depends on the tone that you use it in. Like if you use a positive tone to it, that means that you're doing all right. Aboya. Or if you use like a sadder tone, like aboya, you know, it means like I'm doing so and so. You know, it really depends on like how you say it. I'm just going to play it again just for shits and giggles because again, with the West part, that's kind of proves my point, you know, of the things that I'm teaching you.
c'est le dialecte des présentateurs de journal. Hein? Eux, ils disent « Hoe gaat het met jou ?» Mais nous, on dit « Ouest ».
West.
Oui, c'est simple. Hein? Et puis tu réponds
Goed.
ja, goed of stief goed. Mais mieux, c'est d'utiliser ah bah ja.
Ah bah ja.
C'est un mot, tu peux l'utiliser dans chaque situation. Quand tu te sens bien, tu dis ah bah ja. Quand tu te sens mauvais, tu dis ah bah ja. Et quand tu te sens triste, tu dis ah bah ja. Innocent, West.
Ah bah ja.
Ja, stief goed. Moi, je pourrais être ton professeur.
So yeah, that's basically it. That's the part that I want to show, I guess. But yeah, that is indeed what you could be using. But again, to simplify things towards like all parts of Belgium, basically, we could stick with what I taught you here. So yeah. But yeah, that's like the thing. That is the thing, indeed, with like the tone that you give to it, especially with that word habaya, which is just like like. It depends on how you use it. Like the tone alone basically tells you how that person is feeling using that word. But again, that's like, besides the point. And like in other parts of Belgium, they wouldn't really understand it. So they would like say, they would be very confused when you use that. So this is like, this here on the screen right now is basically like, generally speaking, where you would use this like in basically all Flemish speaking parts of Belgium, right? So again, to recap this again, you could go with like, hey, West, goed, amadu, and then you could apply with that with goed, something like that. Or we can use the other part as well with the more French speaking part, which would be like, hey, ça va, all ça va, amadu, all ça va. Same thing, the exact same thing, just the words are just flipping around like with West or ça va or hoots, just flipping around. And that's how you get it. If people would like to practice this with me, like in a VC, let me know. Then we can do that as well. But again, like this is something like with like Shiro, I feel like you're probably gonna like try to teach him like a little bit too much from the get-go, because I feel like I want to keep this in very simple sections so it's very memorable. Because otherwise, if you're gonna use multiple things to say, to have like a basic conversation, they will like people most likely forget the first part. So we start with like very segmented parts. That we can do every stream anyway, so, and there's still many more streams to come, so.
Yeah, we just kidnapped you
Oh, okay.
for the sake of demonstration.
I was doing something and suddenly I got pulled in. Okay. What are we doing?
How about you, Shiro, how about you put like Kwan's knowledge to the test of the thing that I just taught?
Ah.
She wants you to be
no.
the guinea pig. Or she wants me to be the guinea pig.
So who starts the conversation then?
I guess you can start and I will answer.
I need to be careful how I start it, man. It's way different. Well, how let's say this, right? In Bruges, how we start conversations, it mostly goes, "Yo, West." And then you kind of reply with "Hood, West." Or...
A hoot? And Mathieu?
Hoodie.
A hoodie?
That's the Bruges part. It's a bit different of what Tabi explained, but in Bruges we, instead of abaya, we say hoodie.
A hoodie?
And that can also be a little bit explained in different tones. Hoodie. That's a bit more to I'm okay, but it's in between.
So that's kind of
It's a
like
bit-
abaya.
Yeah, it's the same, but you can use it in different tones as well. Abahudi, abahudia.
Abahudia. And how would you say that in positive tone?
Abahudi.
Abahudi? Okay, I get it. My pronunciation is kind of,
Yeah,
off,
no,
but-
no. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't be laughing.
No, totally get it because I had the same experience when I first was learning English, so it's totally fine. Here to learn. Abahudi?
So how you kind of pronounce it? It's a, wa, hoot, e.
Abahuti. Abahudia. Why is there R there? I don't know why I put R there.
Is there a chat? No, there's no chat.
Ahudia. Ahudi? Ahudi?
A, wa, hoot, e.
Wa. Hudi.
So just start with a,
A.
wa,
Wa.
hoot,
Hoot.
e.
E.
And now just do the one.
Awahudi.
So the thing in Bruges is we try to shorten words as much as possible, so that we can say multiple words in one word. That's what we do in Bruges.
Okay, this is way more advanced shit than I expected.
It's kind of like it's kind of like how you have different like accents in terms of like Spanish, for example. Like for example, like Mexican Spanish is like very slow, whereas like Puerto Rican Spanish is like extremely fast. That's basically like the same gimmick in West-Flemish.
Okay. It's fun though. Learning new languages is always fun. Awahudi. Abaya. Was it and Sabah?
Sabah, indeed, yes.
Sabahudi. And Madu.
You can actually also use abaya.
Abaya?
As same as abaya, or another thing, abahudi. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. So, but if I say abaya in Bruges, will they understand?
Yeah, we would understand. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think it would be easier for me to say abaya than awahudi.
Probably. But the thing is,
I mean,
I would speak
like I was thinking of something doing with you, sure. Like if we would speak like full unfiltered like West-Flemish, I think people would probably like lose their fucking minds.
Oh god. The thing is, my accent has like multiple accents because I lived in Bruges for almost my whole life. And I lived in Austin for like 10, 11 years. And also in Ardøye for 5, 6-ish. So I got multiple accents.
So so Bruges has indeed like their own specific little thing, like in terms of accent, but also like Austin, that's from the coastline. That's also what I explained at the beginning of this whole class, is that they also have their own accent for those at the coastline. And then of course you have Ypres as well, which is like very more like medieval-esque kind of sounding though. And then you have our region, as in where I'm from, World the farmer West-Flemish, basically, where we are basically grown and we are sown with potatoes and stuff like that, which is kind of like the running joke, like with all West-Flemish people. We basically are born with potatoes. But to have like a little example here, how about you just speak West-Flemish? Would that be an interesting thing for chat as well?
Ik zie je boord is de boer naar de patat.
geboren en getoond is de patat. Maar, Shiro, ik heb wel niet gepeest dat je hij van Brugge. Ik heb ook gepeest dat hij van Limburg is.
Kijk, toch altijd gezegd dat ik van Brugge ben? Wanneer heb ik gezegd dat ik van Limburg ben? Ik kan me dat niet herinneren.
Weet niet,
wanneer
pees
heb
dat
ik
er zo
gezegd
een-
dat ik van Limburg
Pees dat er zo een van de eerste dingen was dat je toen we in de community night waren, in VR-chat, dat je dat zo een keer zei. Ik weet het niet, ik weet niet van wat dat komt, maar ik heb het al zo gepeest, ik weet het niet. Dat is misschien een domheid van ik, maar ja. Ja.
We zien de dommigheid van Robert weer. Dat we weer toch gezegd dat niet klopt. Oh, Robert is zo van West-Vlaanderen.
Maar nee. Robert M. is van Limburg. Nee, the way. Die gast, als je die keer wordt klappen, dan weet je dat sowieso die kennen niet van West-Vlaanderen.
Ja, misschien wel.
Okay. Feel like I should not be here right now.
Yeah, just to give an
But,
example.
Sure, how about this? Just a little
Jellyfish94567
testimony
is now following.
of what's going on. Because, like, imagine if you just pretend like you don't know, like, from me, because I told you that I'm West-Flemish, but imagine if I didn't tell you, based on my accent alone, where do you think that I'm from?
Oh, the first time I heard you talk in Dutch on stream, I instantly knew that you were from West-Vlaanderen. I instantly knew.
See, there you go. So I don't understand why people still think that I'm fucking German. What the hell?
But the thing is, I cannot blame them because a lot of words in Belgium sounds similar to the German part. So I can't really.
I mean,
blame them.
English is also Germanic language.
True.
Is it? I mean, English is an amalgamation of a bunch of things, but they use German words. I don't know if it's Germanic language. I think you can actually claim English to be anything at this point.
See, like, if we see here, so English is classified as a West Germanic language, while heavily influenced by Romance languages like French and Latin. Its core grammar, syntax, and fundamental vocabulary trace back to the Anglo-Saxon roots, which is basically like where you have in Germany, Austria, I think also maybe parts closer to Denmark, something like that. So yeah, I don't understand why people are like, oh look, Tabi is German. No, I'm fucking not. I'm West-Flemish. Fuck off.
More you know. Well, this is actually fun, learning new things from Tabi.
If you think our country is bad with accents, you have to go to the Netherlands.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure every country has a different dialect that is, kind of impossible to understand. Which
And the thing
can
is, with
attest to.
Flemish in particular, with Flemish in particular, it is easy to use like this, what you see on the chalkboard right now, with like A, Rest, Saval, Amadu, stuff like that. In all of the Flemish-speaking provinces, they will understand you.
Wish I knew this. Wish I knew this. Ça va. Elle m'a dit. Goed.
But yeah, for me, where I'm from, it is indeed like a thing that is different from like Bruges, where I'm from, like in between the potato fields. Literally, because I literally live in farmlands. So for me, like my West-Flemish in particular is indeed like way quicker. In Bruges, it's still fast, but it's like more like at ease, basically, right? With us, like especially with the first bit that I showed you with that one guy that was like on screen, who went like, ja, ik had zien dat er heel koers dat we het hier Tom was toen na van moment getoast dat squares tot de zijn dat just er niet moeten doen. Basically, yeah, that's basically where I'm from. It's very quick, it's very fast, it's very, that's basically where I'm from.
See.
Yeah, the West-Flemish part of Belgium mostly speaks fast.
That's very fast. I don't think I can ever understand it in real time.
Well, if you would live in Bruges for like a year or two, you would have it, I guess.
Buddy, it took me 2 years in America to learn English. I think it will take longer than 1 year in Bruges.
Just get a few drinks and you'll be fine.
Just
The drinks and you'll
start
be
slurring
fine.
your words. Yahoo.
If you think it's bad if we're sober, damn.
Oh, that's funny.
For me, like if I would go like full super like as we would say blood West-Vlaams or like literally translating like flat West-Flemish, especially where I'm from, dude, like our language is like so the tangents that we can go on of people just completely not understanding us is insane.
So do you guys actually have like a trouble communicating?
In West-Vlaanderen,
Well, like within Belgium itself, because like let's say in example Korea, we have different dialects. Seoul dialect is different than Busan or Jeonju. So like, do you guys like,
For us,
when you
for
have, like,
example, if we would like, if I would like speak my typical West-Flemish language or accent to someone in like in East Flanders or Antwerp or Limburg, they will have an issue. But with this, like what you're seeing on screen right now, which is still like in a more West-Flemish kind of pronunciation thing, they would still understand you. Whereas again, like where I'm from, people are just not gonna understand what I'm saying. Like for example, what could I say? Because my dad, again, he's also like, he was raised and born in between potato fields, and like all of my family based here in Belgium, exact same accent. And the further back that you go in time, the more crazy and more difficult that the language is. That even West-Flemish people or young people of young West-Flemish people of today would have trouble understanding older West-Flemish people. Where things would go like, ja, pien de malte persien op benin, pat mom in a woonbok, en come in a korte warmie, pan for the chambrangs, stuff like that. Those are like very typical West-Flemish things of where I'm from, and where other people in West-Flanders or like particularly everywhere else in Belgium would have no fucking idea what I just said.
What the fuck was that?
I even had sometimes trouble understanding my grandparents.
Great. Well, thanks for the.
Oh no, Chonker redeemed speak Flemish for 10 minutes. Well, I was gonna say Chonker. Well, Kwan, you're fucked. So, Cheryl, here we go. Dus ja, kijk, die was allemaal nog maar op mijn leden. Dat is allemaal een periode zitten. Maar kijk, een beetje crazy verhaalsje met dat je ze nu weet. Want kijk, ik ben West-Vlaamse. Maar het was een beetje een idee van een regio dat ik zin. Apart van het feit dat ik het al zei, extreem. Maar ik ben curieus dat we een regio peesje dat ik zin.
Ik ken een klein vermon. Van waar ergens. Like, als ik gezien heb waar je getoond hebt, waar je woont, dat is een klein vermon.
And Chonko, fuck you.
Chonko.
Voilà, merk P, oftewel, weet je wat, misschien vooral veel hits. Stuur dan eens duur uit met een Discord. Die hebt me gewonnen, waarvan dat je pees dat ik zin. Ik had dus dat het juist is of niet.
No, I just need to know, is it close to the French part or French border? Is het echt aan de Franse grens?
Oh ja, zo ja, dan met je... Kijk, in principe, al verder alles in West-Vlaanderen dicht bij de Franse grens zijn, maar het is... Bij dat dan misschien... op reden dat gemiddeld 3 kwartier van de Franse grens, of naar de Franse grens.
3 kaart nog. 3 kaart nog.
Oh wel, 3 kwart, dat is misschien overdreven. Een half uur? Oké.
Ja. Ja, dat is boots.
Een overtje van de Franse grenzen in die regio.
Maar weet je dat ik anders ga doen, hè? Ik had anders ik had omgekeerd doen. Ik ga herinneren, kijk de mappen van Bayer, Kawipa. En we in het algemeen hun zo'n beetje de regio tekenen waar dat accent waar ik kappen, waar dat eigenlijk gebeurt. Of waar dat accent eigenlijk vaak voorkomt. Misschien dat misschien wel handig kan zijn. Nee? Maar van omgekeerd van pees dat je er zeker verder nergens zal zetten.
Een klein hokje gedaan ondertussen.
Ik wil dat vooral samen komiek. Als je zo tussen zegt, dat is zo typisch, dat is zo typisch Brus. En niet produce dat ook, hè, zo die chokklanken zo.
Wat tussen komt, dat is vooral doordat ik ook vooral in Oostende gewend ben en dat is daarom dat er ook nog gebleven zit.
Met dat je deuren stuurde, Engelmeester, dat hij inderdaad niet voor te zeggen zo verder nef is, dus maar goed. Dus kan ik gewoon zo met je een algemeen beeld tekenen. Wacht, misschien hadden we ook op stream kunnen doen. Hè. Wacht, hè. Ik had, wat ik dat hier doen? Ik ga dat hier zo zetten. Maar ik wil ook niet dat mijn adres heb streamen doen, want dat is wel een serieus probleem. Weet dat? Dus ga ik zien voor dat al zo te doen. Normaal zien marcheert dat hier wel. Hier zijn een mappen van België. Voilà, wow. En ik zo'n beetje de gedeelte van West-Vlaanderen. En natuurlijk de mensen op stream met dat chonker, zo teamlid met slam zijn gediend. En er zijn allemaal dikke sketen, dus daar heb je het probleem nu. Dus voor te zeggen wat dat accent nu vooral kijk van zin gesproken wordt, om een groot beeld te schetsen, echt een veel groot beeld te schetsen, is dus Russelade, Rumbe en Moorsleden reden hem, Darizele Hullem, Eule Kortrijk, Arrelbeke, Balverkoven, dat is hem duidelijk. Ulste, Ishem, Engelmuster, Zweefhem, Kortrijk, Bellegem, Rekhem, Meende, Heluwe, Wevelhem, deel van Moen en Eestert ook. Anshem, Vechte, Inwoehem, Tichem, Kruishem, Zelte en dat is zo'n beetje dat gedeelte eigenlijk. Dat is zo'n beetje wat ik, om het echt heel goed te schetsen, wat dat accent, dat ik nu klappen, vooral aanwezig.
Yeah.
Eigenlijk heb popering gehoord.
Wat poperingen, daar wordt niet in Ieper.
Dat ligt dicht. Ik weet dat een beetje meer naar links ligt, poperingen. Dus waar ik Kortrijk heb, toch een beetje meer naar links liggen. Ik heb door Mien, dan naar Wervik. Dan ben je toch nog een beetje meer naar links uit op poperingen. Normaal. Daar, ja.
Maar dat ding gaat bij poperingen, maar ook, ze hebben me al verstaan, hetgeen dat kan zijn, maar ze hebben toch nog ze wel andere klanken en andere dingen dat ze zeggen, gebruiken. Terwijl, ja, ik zei het hier, vooral naar kijk zijn, daar vooral hier, wat ik geboren ben, is hier. Ik ben geboren, ik ben hier in Kortrijk gewoond, maar ik ben hier letterlijk geboren. Dus...
Kortrijk, verdomme.
Ik ben geboren in Kortrijk en toen ik zo'n beetje, ja, wat de rest had zien, daar een probleem voor de rest, dat is niet meer weten. I think, yeah, no, so we still have like 2 minutes. So let's see. But yeah, basically where I was born, and that is not a security question, because I don't use that because it's stupid. Like, what was the country? What was the city that you were born in? Which is stupid. But basically where I was born is here, basically. Like, this is where Tabi was born, where my mom pumped me out after 9 months. So yeah, actually no, I was born too early. It was like 8 months and something.
Very beautiful city, by the way, Portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also good for shopping.
Nu ja, voor te gaan shoppen, kun je niet kortrijk en niet voor te zijn dat we er veel voor te gaan shoppen. Hè. Wat hebben we? De kou en misschien de ring en de rest.
Is Bokrijk also not there?
Bokrijk en dan die tegen de kust. Bokrijk en tegen de kust niet. Nee, dat niet. Wat dat je wens.
Is die dat
Ik
Bokrijk?
zit nu zelf niet mee. We kennen dat al, hè. Zo voor zover ik naar de kust ga getalen. Ik moet dat niet hebben. Oh, wat zand. Van dat hoor. Wat kun je het zeggen? Niet wat al hebben. Bokrijk.
Bokrijk, hoe ligt dat weer? Dat ligt. Oh, dat ligt. Ligt dat daar, shit of? Dat ligt aan de kant van Hassel, maar die raakt niet bij hem. Ik dacht.
Ja, een heel andere provincie, zo totaal benefst.
Ik dacht dat de kant van Kortrijk lag.
Maar ja, de rest zo een beetje, ja, wil ik wel zien, hè, van mijn accent. Dus ja, ik heb uren gelaten, Kortrijk, Wieven, Meende, Rakem, Hedewee, Bellegem. Oralbeet duidelijk. Elste, Balvenkoven, dat ze hebben, Muisbeet, Worden hebben. Ons hebben, die hebben Kruisbanen, is hebben Engelmester, Roeselaren. Zelte, Oude Noorden, een beetje, maar niet zoveel. Wel, hoe verder dan van die in zin, ja, hoe minder dat dan mijn accent eigenlijk, hè.
Nou, ik zou het school Westeren sloren. De batterscholen. What is that border of? That is a French border. Oh no, that's Wallonia shit.
Well, yeah, that would be the Walloon border, so.
Fun history lesson for you all. Wallonia was once at the French side, and the West-vlaanderen or the Flemish side of Belgium was once the Netherlands.
And again, another like fun little history thing because people still think that. See, like here on the complete opposite side where I'm from, this right here, as you can see here, there's Germany. See, you have Germany right here. See, Germany, and then we go to the left a little bit, and there's Belgium. And you see this border thingy right here. This little border thingy right here. See, look at that. See, this part right here, in particular, is where the German-speaking folks are, basically, right? And there's actually a lot of people, for example, especially from Aachen, for example. Aachen, Monschau as well, actually, now that I think about it, that travel to Belgium for various reasons, either for work or like more beneficial kind of things that they would get in Belgium compared to Germany, or the other way around, where Belgians would go to, or German-speaking Belgians would go to Germany for other reasons or similar reasons. So again, it happens a lot though that they do travel back and forth. Also because again, the language, you know, they speak German, they understand each other perfectly. So, but as you can see here, it's the complete opposite side of where I'm from. So yeah, this is more my region. What you see here on the map, basically, generally speaking, this is my region. But yeah, where Shiro is from is right here in this little city here, in Bruges.
Now I live close to the border of West-Vlaanderen. East Flanders.
Well, yeah, we indeed, like what Metroid probably indeed, well, has discovered is indeed we have various cities or towns that end with the word Uchem, like Liedegem, Isegem, Desselhem, Waterhem, Anzegem, Inhuegem, Tiegem, Zwiebegem, Ballegem, stuff like that. Why that's the thing, I have no idea.
And a lot of cities that also end with E. Or, yeah. They either end with EM or E. I actually never stood still about that with the EM and the E. Now that I think about it and look at the map,
Thing is, like the gem parts is something that I used to know, like because like someone in my school, like some teacher like taught us that, but I kind of forgot because again, like how long has it been since I went to school anyway? Yeah, I guess this would be a good thing to wrap things up of the initiation of the West-Flemish. I'll also be uploading this bit onto the YouTubes for people to pick up on in case that they have missed it. But generally speaking, this, again, what you see right here on the map is, generally speaking, the region where your dear beloved chambermaid is from. So yeah, not German, West-Flemish, and in particular, this part of West-Flanders. And again, like literally ask any Belgian that doesn't know me and just have me speak like Flemish to them. And they will instantly know like, oh yeah, that bitch is definitely from West-Flanders. Instantly. I mean, I asked Cheryl too. Because again, like grab any random Belgian that you might know that doesn't know me, and I would speak like my native tongue. They would instantly know like, yeah, you're from most likely like this kind of region, which is like Cheryl has also guessed that I would be from Engelmaster, for example, which is again a city. It is a town that is in that same region. So yeah, again, he's actually correct. Not in the sense that that's where I live. But no, I don't live in Engelmaster. But I live in one of these cities, so have fun with that.
I think we'll all start a witch hunt.
So let's have another little recap just to wrap things up basically with what we started here. In this case, where we would say a Wests, and then you can reply with a huide or just huits. And then you can reply or retort or like reciprocate that question to whoever asked you. That you can say like Amadou, basically say like, how about you? To literally translate it is just like saying like, hey, how are you? Do know, right? How about you? And it was Flemish, that would be hey, West, huit, Amadou. Then you can reply that with a huit, a huide, or for the other example that I said, how about you? There's also something that you can say. Or with the French speaking bit with the ça va, for example, which you could say like, hey, ça va, Amadou, or ça va. Same thing. I do hope you guys enjoyed this little West-Flemish thing. And then on the next part, we can go do some other things. Or if you guys have any questions in terms of greetings and stuff like that, or just like day-to-day conversations, you guys can let me know. Either like you can DM me or like if this thing goes on YouTube, right? Just like leave a reply or comment in the comment section below, basically. Like the fancy YouTubers would say, like, leave, comment, and subscribe. Don't do that. But if you have any questions or if you would like to know very specific things, you can just ask me there or on Twitter or literally anywhere where you can find me. So yeah, that would be a cool little thing to have a little bit of an interaction with all of you. And for you guys to also, therefore, learn more of my native tongue. And who knows, one day you guys might be able to might be able to have a very basic conversation with me. That would actually be really cool. So yeah. But aside from that, did you guys enjoy the West-Flemish little class session thing here?
Also, quick side note, if you go to Bruges and you speak normal Dutch without an accent, people will give you a side eye for talking normal Dutch and not speaking in an accent.
Basically, they'll go like altijd de tampon een keertje had, de klap eruit, West-Vlaams. But yeah, for those that missed it, don't worry. I will be uploading this on the YouTubes, so you guys will be able to enjoy that as well and catch up on the classes again. like this. And this is something I would like to do like every stream, and have something like this going on. But yeah, good stuff. Well, every stream or maybe every other stream, it depends how I feel too. And depends also on the requests, I guess. But yeah, that is my language, the West-Flemish.
I think on that note, I think you're going to transition to something else that I can.
Indeed, I will be playing some Smashy Bros. You are free from your obligations as a West-Flemish person.
Have fun, chat. Have fun studying.
Voor dus dan gewoon, als je de talen mee, dan kan ik eigenlijk Osama zo spreken. En Oostende spraken ze heel anders, maar kan ik die talen nooit mee. Kan ik Osama plat West-Vlaams spreken. Vele mensen die in Oostende spreken, als met een no en al zo slingeren, je kan dat niet. Maar van nu, denk ik, spreken wat ik nu spreek. Ja, natuurlijk, als er iemand komt, hij spreekt gewoon Vlaams, spreken dat natuurlijk ook gewoon niet. Maar normaal gezien spreken de talen lekker wat nu spreken. En mijn kinderen ook allemaal.
En je kleinjongens?
En mijn kleinjongens ook, hè. Oh ja, ik ga nu niet zeggen, de hele kleinkinderen gaan meer een beetje dat mooie Vlaams, hè. Maar toch, hè, normaal gezien spreken ze plat. Maar ik weet dat gaat toch een beetje blijven, het West-Vlaams. Maar je hoort dat wel aan de mensen, dat ze verhouding doen voor het West-Vlaams.
I think this lady in particular is also like either from Bruges or Bruges, like no, maybe not either, yeah, more like the Bruges part.
Ja, we zijn dat gewend. Maar normaal, als er twee komt en die mens spreekt gewoon Vlaams, dan ga ik ook antwoorden, nee, dat kun je, hè. Maar ik spreek normaal toch geen West-Vlaams thuis of met de kinderen. Het is eigenlijk een plat Vlaams.
En op scholen vroeger? Hoe ging dat toen?
Like where, like the way that she says things, like scholen, or Schwan Vlaams, like the very typical like sh sound, is something very typical for like Bruges or Yper kind of things. Like in where I'm from, we don't like, it's basically like SOCH basically that they were saying, and like this lady or people in Bruges, where they have like the very like that sound basically as they say. Where I'm from is usually like saying like with an S and a K. So instead of like she's saying like schwanna, we say skwanna. That's again from the region where I'm from is basically like that. And or like saying like Schwan West-Vlaams, we would say like Skwan or yeah, Skwan Vlaams or Skwan West-Vlaams. See, there's like a little bit of a difference here.
Gaan stepen. Ik zei tot die mama, wat is dat? Dat is kusje scheuren. Dat was, want die meisjes worden dat gewend, hè. Maar toen die kwamen van een ander ding, een andere stad of het wat, wist niet wat dat was, stepen. Nog één te woorden, mee dan ze zei dat. Ik zei, mama, wat is dat? Die meisjes spraken op een ouderwetse manier, hè. Maar niet voor te zeggen, veel, dat heb ik niet veel gehoord. Ja, eigenlijk weet je die nu juist aan de ding zitten van Frankrijk. Dat is ook wel een verschil. Je gaat naar misschien 10 kilometers verder in Frankrijk. Dat is ook al een heel andere spraak. Weet dan die mensen, ze kunnen Vlaams, maar dan hoor je dat toch heel anders is.
Ja.
Ja, anders, ja. Ik ben dat gewend van te spreken, ja, zo.
Ja.
Dat is normaal, hè, zie je. Maar normaal kan je niet zeggen dat er twee komt. En hij kan ze niet, spreek je toch een beetje schonder, hè. Want die mensen, het weet niet van Brussel of komen, dan spreekt tegen mij, ik spreek niet plat, die mensen kunnen dat wel verstaan, maar niet goed, hè. Maar onze kinderen eigenlijk spreken ook plat, hè. Maar normaal gezien spreekt me er toch nooit geen West-Vlaams bij de jongens, hè.
Nee.
En de jongens antwoorden hun ook. Want dat is dit geweest, dan ze zijn in de school, dus leren gewoon Frans spreken, maar vele mensen doen dat niet. Hier, Jatterbuschje wel, dat ga ik niet zeggen. Maar gewoonlijk waar je hier gaat, binnen of buiten, de mensen spreken like wie er doet ook al, sorry.
Dat is zo. Allee, Steve, wel potjes, bedankt.
Allee, en kun je dat een keer uitleggen?
So yeah, I guess that would be enough of West-Flemish, I suppose. But see, a little good initiation of the West-Flemish language.